Hello, War here, and welcome to my build guide for my Incinerate Witch. I'm gonna start by going over my passive skill tree, then my skill gems, and then I'm gonna go over my gear. And after that, I'm going to show this character in action and some various map bosses. So let's get started by taking a look at my skill tree. I'm gonna start by talking about my Ascendancy tree. I ascended to an Elementalist, and in the beginning, the first time you ascend, I'm recommending taking Program of Calamity to make you immune against elemental reflect damage and also give you some nice life leech. After that, they're recommending taking Pendulum of Destruction and Mastermind Discord. Mastermind Discord is important because you're going to use your Herald of Ash always. And when using Herald of Ash, you get 25% fire penetration when you're using Herald of Ash, when afflicted by Herald of Ash, which is really nice. Also increases the power of your heralds and reduces the mana cost of your heralds. And after that, they're recommending taking Line of the Primordial to give you some extra damage and allows you to have 2 golems at the same time. Also increases the effect of your golems. Moving on. When it comes to normal skill tree, I went for the spell damage in the beginning, then the cast speed, then Arcanist Dominion, and Firewalker. Also have Heart and Soul, Deep Wisdom, and I have Ludacy, which give you a good boost to your channeling skill damage and reduces the mana cost of your channeling skill and 40% chance to avoid being stunned when channeling, which is really helpful. I have Arcane Will, I have Blast Radius. When it comes to Yule sockets and Yules, try to get Yules which have life and cast speed, and also when you're either spell damage or elemental damage or fire damage. I have Deep Thoughts, I have Cruel Perception, then I have Breath of Flames and Heart of Flames. I have Elemental Overload, and I also have Quick Recovery for some mana and life generation. And I have another Yule socket. This one is a pure damage one with increased spell damage, increased fire damage, and increased cast speed. I have Dark Arch and the whole Dark Arch wheel here. Really nice notes, give me a good amount of cast speed. I also have Explosive Impact for some AoE and fire damage. I have Purity of Flesh. I have Singular Focus in this whole channeling wheel here. Really nice notes, give me a ton of damage and some cast speed. And I also have Holy Fire, and this is optional, but you can take Avatar Fire, but I don't really think it is worth it, but you can do it. I have Amplify, Light of Divinity, Retribution, Discipline in Training, Holy Dominion, and I also have Devotion for some good life boost and some strength, which also increases your life. I have Serenity in this nice life regeneration and mana regeneration notes here. Then I went all the way down here to take the big life wheel. And I have now used over here this one with cast speed and some life. And that's pretty much my skill tree. If you have any questions about my skill tree, please let me know. And by the way, one side note, Elemental Overload, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this one later when I talk about my items. Talking about my skill gems in a second. And when it comes to the bandits, I just killed all of them and took the 2 passive skill points. So let's take a look at my skill gems. So let's start by talking about my main damage skill, which is of course Incinerate. And Incinerate are supported by Combustion, Control Destruction, Immolate, Infused Channeling Support, and Fire Penetration. If you only have a 5-linked armor, just take away fire penetration until you can get to 6-linked. When it comes to my auras and mana reserve, I of course using Herald of Ash, Anger, and Clarity. When it comes to my movement skill, I using Lightning Warp, together with faster casting and less duration. I'm also using a Val Fireball setup, which is a Val Fireball together with Elemental Perfilation, Combustion, and increased critical strikes. And Fireball are the skill I'm using to proc my Elemental Overload, so that's why I have extra crit chance on my Fireball. I'm using 1 cast more damage taken, level 1, together with Orb of Storms. Now using Orb of Storms to crit and again proc Elemental Overload. I also have Immortal Call and Warlord's Mark. I have 2 Stycken Golems I'm using. I'm using a Fire Golem and a Lightning Golem. And they are both supported by Minion Speed and Minion Life. And that's pretty much all of my skill game. If you have any questions about them, please let me know. So let's talk about the items. Let's start by talking about weapons. For your weapons, you want either fire damage or spell damage or both. You also want added fire damage to spells and cast speed. For my helmet, I'm using this helmet here, which has some good life, good armor and some resistance. For your amulet, just go with life and resistance and even some damage if you can afford it. Like the amulet I have right here, it has both cast speed and spell damage. For your rings, try to get life and resistance, but if you can afford it, try to get some damage there in the forms of increased fire damage or elemental damage. For my armor, I'm just using this very cheap 6-linked armor here. It has life and resistance. For my gloves, again defensive, life and resistance. Belt again, as high life as you can get, and the resistance you need. Same thing with the boots, life, the resistance you might need, and some movement speed. And when it comes to my flasks, I'm using 1 anti-freeze flask, life flask, another life flask with which have removed bleeding, 1 basalt flask to protect me against physical damage and also remove bleeding, 1 at Serious Promise, which are the only unique item I have in this build, and 1 Quicksilver flask. If you have any questions about my items, please let me know. I will now show this character in action in some various maps, and before I forget it, when it comes to the Pantheon, just take Soul of Lunaris to get physical protection, and take Soul of Tukahama for some additional physical protection. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Tell me in the comment what you think about it, and I see you guys.